Sip, sip. From prime time to pastime. Yep, how Shedeur Sanders got passed up in the first 3 rounds of the NFL draft. Crazy, right? This boy was the number one slash number two pick in this year's draft, and now it is going on the fourth round, and this kid is not drafted. You know, Shedeur Sanders, son of primetime Neon Sanders. So, what do you think is happening to young Dion? I mean, I'm sorry, young Shedeur. What do you think is happening? So my take is this boy is better than, except for the first one, Cam. But this boy is better than the rest of those guys. But this is just a prime example of the NFL showing him his position and his place, just like they did Kaepernick. So I know that Shedeur said a couple of times that he would not play at certain teams or he wouldn't go there, but you're not bigger than the program, son. That's what they're showing you right now. You're not bigger than the program. You know, he said I won't go there, talking about some of the losing teams, but that's neither here nor there. I think that this is fear of black excellence, melanated excellence, because you have a dad that's very visible in his son's life. You have a son that holds his dad in high esteem and who doesn't walk with his back bent and stand up and be kind of cocky. You understand what I'm saying? So this is, I think this is more of a fear thing, and he's not cocky. I mean, he's cocky and he's not going to take the normal position in place and be played like a lot of these players, because the NFL will play you. You know, this is billion-dollar, multi-billion-dollar business, so they don't want anybody in their business, you know, standing up straight. You know, he's cocky. So he understands, and his dad is in his ear. So this may be a case, I think, of a Kaepernick situation, because when you look at it, when you look at him being drafted, there were guys drafted that were cocky. Baker Mayfield, OU, cocky, and then the other one that had you know, and Shedeur doesn't even have a criminal history or background, or you haven't heard anything about him. What about Johnny Manziel? Johnny Manziel at A&M, before he even got drafted, he had a criminal record, but they still drafted him because he was cocky. You understand what I'm saying? But I think they're using this to send his dad a message, you know, to send him and his dad a message, because his dad is in his life. He's very visible in his life as a 23-year-old uh, son. He holds his dad in high self-esteem, but at some point, Dion has to let go. Just like I'm going through this with my son. My son just turned 24, and he, you know, I'm hands off now. I don't call him unless he call me. I'm proud of him because he got to go through some things on his own to become a man. You know, so his dad is very visible in his life, and I think that part of this also, in addition to the Kaepernick thing, is that his dad playing a part in his life has to do with his leadership qualities. So as a veteran, if I'm a veteran and you draft this kid to come into the locker room and I'm making 5, 10, 15, $20 million a year, I want to know, is it this kid that's leading us or his dad? Can he lead us through a tough time, or does he need his dad in his ear? So I think it has to do with respect from the players and the organizations. I don't know if I'm sure they talk to some of their players before, or at least their top players before they draft kids. But is this a Kaepernick situation, or is this his dad is in the way situation and they trying to send him a message? Let me know what you think in the comments. Sip, sip. Boy, boy, boy. Here, but then when you think about it, you know, where did Tom Brady go? Tom Brady went what? In the 6th round. So maybe this Tom Brady turned out to be the greatest, the GOAT. So maybe Shedeur can use this as his Tom Brady moment. And you know what I'm saying? And not let this affect him, but just put a chip on his shoulder, you know. So maybe he needs to put that chip on his shoulder and just go and get better and show him and have something to prove, have a purpose, you know, have a point to prove. Like all of these players, a lot of these great players say when they got drafted or they didn't get drafted as high as they thought they did, they had that as momentum to knock them boys' head off. So I remember when Vince Young came out and the Texans didn't draft Vince Young. That would have been the greatest thing, you know. But Vince Young had a chip on his shoulder, and he told the Texans ass, he told him a new asshole that first game. Sip, sip.